right now, welcome to this edition of the Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my other hosts, Damon and Jaquari Armstrong. Damon, as usual, because he likes the dramatic interests, will be joining us just in a little bit. If not, you know what we do. We here every Friday at 7:30, promoting conversation, promoting goodwill, and occasionally a FU here and there. You know what I mean? Uh, but what it is it's all sincere, honest conversation as much as possible because we are human beings. So we got to hide something from somebody. You feel what I'm saying? So welcome to this edition. Jaquari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. Everything was calm. It was a quiet day.
Okay.
Nothing I couldn't handle.
Cool.
How about you, bro? How was your day?
Oh man, I said it before. I'm gonna say it again because I guess this is my barometer to work from. Fair to middling, fair to middling.
Hmm.
You know what I mean, because our dad, he was always on that. He always said that. I said, oh, what does that mean? You know, and I don't know if he made it up or not, but he was like, well, look, back in the old days, see, the first. Now, let me put it like this: the way I took it was everything's fair to the middle. That's how I took it. So when they said fair to middling, right?
Hmm.
But then I asked him to explain it to me. I guess to make sure that I was at least close. He said, "Well, look, you back in the old days, bro. When somebody asked you that, they said, yeah, I got fair. I got fair, bus fare to Midland. So if I got to get out of this situation, I got bus fare to get to Midland.
Oh, so Midland was a place.
See, that's the way our dad explained it to me. It was a place.
Mm.
So and you know how he is. He always spoke the truth, but every once in a while he'll throw a riddle in there just to,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I
Just
mean, trying to go to him for some direct advice, man. Was like like come on, man. Like you supposed to tell me what the fuck to do, bro.
yeah, yeah,
You supposed to, but he never did. He stayed true to that with all three of us apparently. I mean, and we were forced to figure out the positive side
always, yeah.
of interactions.
Look, pay attention to what I'm doing, pay attention to what somebody else is doing when it concerns me, and pay attention to the way the world is flowing.
Mhm.
A lot of times, the majority of times, you can decipher what decision you need to make. It's not always the case, but that's life. Life be lifing like that. It's not always the case, but a great deal of the time, if you're able to really and truly pay attention to them things and let them soak into your head,
Mhm.
you make the best decision you can make.
It's just another example of a man keeping his own counsel, man. That's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Every once in a while, but I always thought every once in a while, he wanted to be smarmy and shit. Yeah, you figure it out. I got it figured out.
Yeah, I have no doubt
But
that he was. I
you
have
know
no
what
doubt.
I'm saying?
I mean, but he didn't necessarily have anybody to even put him on the right track. So
You're right. You're right. He had Uncle Will. He had Mr. Eccles. But Mr. Eccles was the stepfather. You know what I'm saying? But had Uncle Will. Uncle Will was a hard working man, had his own everything. And so our dad always followed his example, which I always admire that because he did admire Uncle Will.
hmm
Now, now did it stop him from being a wild child? Nope. But but when he was ready to, calm down, I think that was the focal point that he made.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. All the stories he ever told about Uncle Will, the first time, I was a little bitty boy when the first time I officially like was around him. I'd known him for my whole life. But Uncle Will wasn't never there on the place. He wouldn't be around me. He ain't caught no little kids. I understand that. But when he did start to connect to me, you know, the look that was on Pop's face was just he was amazed by it. He was amazed by it. I mean, he was as frugal as Uncle Will was. When he was raising Pop. We was sitting out in the yard, and we was shooting a 22 rifle,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I knew it, I had shot off half the box of shells. On the way back to grandma's house, Pop was talking to me. He was like, "I ain't never seen that before.
Mm.
Never seen that before. You sitting down there talking to him and everything, and he letting you waste his shells and shit and all that." And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, man, that's the Uncle Will you knew ain't no nothing like the man I just spent time. I love that man. Not saying that Pop didn't,
Yeah,
but like dang, shit. I come out here and live with Uncle Will.
you're right. You're right. I think men are hard. They are hard on their, especially in our generation. I'm gonna say because I think we're kind of the last of that, where we're hard on our sons,
Mm.
and I'm talking about having that expectation, not hard on them physically, but them having understanding our expectation of what we want from them, whether they reject it or not. We understand, like my sons understand I have an expectation of them,
Mm.
and I teach them how to achieve that expectation. I let them know. I talk to them. You know, I don't spare the ride, especially if they deserve it. You feel what I'm saying? And,
Mm.
and and it's funny when I hear parents who are really and truly mean well. I'm not gonna beat my child, right? And it depends on the child's character whether or not they respond to it or not. Whether they respond to corporal punishment, whether they respond to being put in a timeout. It's the child's character, and how you form the child's character is, to me, 1 through 5. Ages 1 through 5.
But if you consider, man, the evolution of parenting as we know it. I
Mm.
mean, I mean, the role of father to son has changed, so much throughout out the freaking millennium, man. That it's not the same today as it was, you know, 50 years ago. In the sense that a lot of dads didn't have a PlayStation to sit around and play, play with
Yeah,
their sons on. And use that time to connect with their sons. They probably they take them out into the woods or doggone Boy Scouts or doggone something like that. But
yeah.
one-on-one time, and I'm talking about even shit as far as athletics or whatever, man. I mean, a lot of people's dads is their hardest coaches.
And they're supposed to be. You know why? This my and really just my personal opinion. Because if your dad, who loves you dearly, don't take no shorts when it comes to you being out on that field or on that basketball court or wherever you are, then a stranger is going to be a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I mean, but there's got to be room for the PlayStation time, man.
Oh, I get it. I get
It's,
it.
it,
I understand.
it's got to be it's got to be it's got to be room or a space for fart jokes between fathers and sons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You got to show your child that you have a sense of humor. That's real. That's really real. You know, our dad was strict. Our mom too was strict, right?
Hmm.
But we know they were funny because they showed the humorous side. They showed that they could be funny. We heard them laugh. You know what I'm saying? See, I've always thought that was important. But another thing that I'm thinking about though, is the danger portion of it, where you and our generation, because our father had to worry about us walking out the door with the specter of Caucasianism. You understand what I'm saying? Because Caucasians were getting away with brutality in our lifetime,
Mhm.
brutality against black men and black women. They would get away with it enough that it was a concern because, and I think it's with you too, Jaquari, where we used to say, I'm going to celebrate when I become 21 because there ain't no guarantee me getting there.
The
You
whole
remember that?
Yeah, the first time I heard that, we as young
Yeah,
black men were
yeah.
endangered species and
Yes, sir.
such. And you're
Yes, sir.
lucky to meet, you lucky to make 21 and all this. And I'm like,
Yes, sir.
damn, like for real, this is what I got to look forward to.
And you know what's so sad about it? It was a reality. See that's the thing about it is
But see, this is the thing. I mean, not to cut you off, man. This is the thing, man. As aware as I was of that specter in the world, man. We didn't have a Klan coming down and marching down, the street in Ipsy. We didn't have that. I'm
I
sure
get it.
I'm sure that was that element and everything, but most of the threats that I had to face, came from people who look like me.
I mean, but you know what that is? That's proximity, man.
Proximity, yeah, but
Yes, and look, let me just say this to understand, and I get your point. So it's not that I'm ignoring your point, but guess what? I ran into. You know what the funny thing about it is? The South. We always talk about the South. Our parents talked about the South, just how racist
yeah,
and mean and hostile.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But the state of Michigan,
Mhm. You know how many
the state of Michigan,
when I
come
moved
on,
to
man.
Raleigh, when I moved to Raleigh, you know how many country boys down there had to check because they told me that me growing up in Michigan, oh that's soft, you from up north. I'm like whatever.
No, man. No,
I tell you what, motherfucker,
no.
stand in front of me,
Let me tell you something.
stand in front of me, and
The,
I show you how soft I am because
there,
I'm
there,
forbidden.
there were good human beings that were white, but
Yeah,
we ran into human beings that were white that were evil as shit.
yeah,
And I used to say
yeah.
these to these guys all the time. I said, bro, I get it. I'm not comparing the different regions, but understand you have never lived in the state of Michigan.
Never,
You,
never.
you don't
Because
you,
because because the aggression, the aggression is different.
right there,
The
right there.
aggression is different. I
That
mean,
magical word, aggression, Jaquar.
yeah, up top, in Michigan, like I said, they wasn't wearing hoods
Nope.
or freaking jack boots or Doc Martens or anything like that. Shit, they was regular people, and in some cases, man, I don't know how controversial this is going to be, but in a lot of cases, liberalism is just as bad as racism.
You want? Oh, okay. Let's do this. Damon, how the hell are you, brother?
What's
Hey
going on,
man,
bro?
I apologize for being late, my brothers. Man, I got caught up. Then you know how my equipment be playing me, man. So I apologize to both of y'all, man. And what's going? Seem like y'all in a deep conversation, man.
No, it's not deep, man. We just talking, man. Really, really and truly, we just talking about you know the white folks in Michigan and the white folks down here in the South. No, I'm just kidding. But the point, the human part of our generation, because you and Jaquari are, I am what they call I was the last year of the baby boomers, right? You and Jaquari were members of Generation X. I don't believe in that shit, but just to piece it out, that's what they consider the three of us, right? So when you look at how we see things, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, everything is recycled, man. Now we don't go way back into the Civil War days or anything like that, But when it comes to Jim Crow, electronically, we are experiencing Jim Crow in our entertainment and everything else, right? Is it stopping us from moving ahead? No, it's not. But what it is we see it, and the people that's portraying it, the people that's portraying it are not afraid to show it. You feel what I'm saying? Now you talked about liberals, man. Let me tell you something. Honestly, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Then, Damon, I want you to comment on this. It's a simple thing. Would you want like now you're a grown ass man, so you shouldn't depend on whatever anybody's opinion of you, right? Would you want somebody to look at you like, yo, you don't make money for me. I'm not gonna give you any money. And I'm only gonna pay attention to you when you make money. Then on the opposing side, you're not gonna make no money because you were born with this pigmentation on you, and it's my community's opinion and obligation is to save you from us because we are superior. Now, those two things. First of all, Damon, tell me what you think. Which one would you choose, if any? And then tell me where you think they are.
I'm as far as personal experience, man. Yeah, I went to a liberal college, man. You know what I'm saying, Catholic school, and they were universal. They were in the Second Vatican and all that stuff. So they were all trying to figure out how to interact with the world instead of being isolated and this religion that people despise. So they try to interact with everybody. So there's I went to a college with a lot of diversity and how to interact in it in the world and all that stuff. But by the same token, also, you know, uh, was my university considered liberal? No, it was. I think it was a mixed bag, and there were some people there who tried to interact with you in a way where they try to tell you how to express yourself because of your plight and what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Here's the rub, man. Black people who has an awareness, and that's not a bad word for me. Woke is not a bad word for me. So for him
Overused,
who don't
but it's not
understand
a
it,
bad word.
right? Um, I had an awareness, man. So I understood that white liberal who was trying to engage, you know what I'm saying, but in a way that they only understand. So, you know, how they say black people have to wear two or three hats. You know what I'm saying, that's who we are, man, and we navigate from that space, from that comfort zone. So to answer your question, yeah, I could tell the difference, man. And the latter part that you spoke on, what's up, bro? The latter part that you spoke on, bro, that is something, don't placate me because I can recognize, whether or not I feel like I'm being played. That might not be your intention, but I feel like it, and you don't have the wherewithal or awareness to know or understand that that's the space you're trying to put me in. So I'm always coming from that space where I have to figure out where I fit in and where I can grow from. I understand what Jacoy is saying, man. Um, yes, surprisingly, so we as black men, man, we have real, true conservative values. which has absolutely nothing to do with skin color. Might be some bigotry in there. You know what I'm saying?
A little sexism.
Yeah, those things exist. So are any of us, you know what I'm saying? Are any of us righteous in our beliefs and what we believe in? I don't know if I'm answering your question, bro, because you know
I
I'm
get what
trying
you're
to play catch up, but I understand the premise of your question, where you're
I
coming
mean,
from.
man, but look, man, you're not catching up. That was when I asked the question. That's what we was asking. Period. So, I
Okay.
mean, if you
saying.
feel comfortable with that, that's cool, man.
Well,
Jacquard,
right.
go ahead and finish.
I want to hear what Jacory had to say.
Because I mean, if I can say, man, like generationally, man, if you take the school system for instance, man, the school system that you guys went to and started in Detroit was miles different from the school system that I experienced, growing up in this, in Ypsilanti. I was bused to an elementary school that was miles away from home or whatever, and basically, dropped in the middle of a freaking pail of milk. You know what I mean? So when I talk about my opinions on overtly racist people and liberals, basically being the same thing. I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you were free to operate off of your own thing? I've never experienced that situation. Never. You know,
Because
I,
I think because I've always worked for people. But go ahead, man.
yeah, I've either felt like I've been foothold by one section, or coddled by another section. You
That's
know, and
deep,
I get
man.
it.
and
I get
and
it.
and either one of those situations, man, where I've never been conducive to my advancement in any way. The only time I succeeded, man, is when I said, okay, to hell with you, and you, okay, I respect your efforts, man, but you don't have any respect for me or my wherewithal as a human being whatsoever. So it's up to me to take my destiny in my own hands where I can and push it as far as I could go.
Yeah.
And this ain't,
So on the liberal side, you felt placated.
in some to some degree, yes, sir.
I mean, you got to think about it. Both sides is exercising, and this is my opinion about it. Both sides are exercising superiority over you in your community because the liberals try to hit you with the intellectual shit. Oh, you're going through this because of what you grew up in, and this and that, and da da da. Now, I'm not pulling no Candace Owens bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong.
Not at all.
All I'm
Man, you have
saying
to
to you is
differentiate, man. For real.
understanding,
Not at all.
understanding both sides, and I'm not a part of either side. You see what I'm saying? This is what I see. And I'm sorry, no disrespect to Candace Owens, because if she believes that, that's her. I call it BS because we spoke about that on other podcasts, but I call it BS because you want to tell me that the conservatives are tricking me into being a certain way, right? But then you also tricking me into thinking that you have my best interest, and you don't,
You have no
because
idea.
it's
You have no idea
always
what you are.
it's always power. People who are in power want to stay in power, and they have different ways of doing it.
Go ahead, Jacory. I want to respond to what Keith's saying after you finish.
No, I'm good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What is a person's intentions, man? You know what I'm saying? Because when you we especially when you looking at a particular party, man, you can understand and realize, like when you talk about the conservative party, they come together, man, no matter what. They don't care who the candidate is, what the cause is, or whatever. They all come together, just to win. You know what I'm saying?
I'm bleeding now. Go ahead.
Whereas liberals,
Do the same
liberals
thing
don't.
now. I'm sorry, but they
But,
do the same
yeah,
thing. But go ahead.
but they do it. They do it in the. They don't want to be called a racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't
Good
want to be
point.
put in that box.
Good fucking
So
point.
so they overextend, they overdo the shit. You know what I'm saying? And where the white liberals where they make a mistake at is that they don't ask the right people the right questions, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't ask the right people the right questions. None of us are victims, man. The biggest misnomer, man, is in that whatever other world other than ours is that they lazy and they want to be victims. No, we do not come from the premise of being victims, man. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we wear two hats.
Yeah.
We understand what you're gonna say before you say it. You know what I'm saying? And where you gonna come from. You know what I'm saying? And when you try to, you never gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's where they make the mistake at, man. They make the mistake like, man, they just, they like children. They didn't understand. No, man, we don't never forget. The Jews, they put things on TV and the social media everywhere to remind people of what they went through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas us, we have to remind ourselves that we know what we've been through, and we know what they're trying to take away every day. And they want to throw in, well, reverse racism, and you trying to be a victim. No, you trying to chip at the armor. You think we don't recognize that shit? So, and then on top of that, we gotta deal with people that look like us, like a Candace Owens. I'm gonna say it, who about the bag or who truly believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like Malcolm, like a Farrakhan said, I wasn't exposed to this type of, because I'm a lover, not a fighter. But he said, man, if it ever come down to it, how many of us we got to go through to get to them if we try to survive?
But that's the whole point, though. That's the human condition, bro. See,
That's
I think we
okay.
make a mistake.
When you say the human condition, that's to say that that's the norm and that's just what it is.
No, what I'm saying to you is that could be a possibility. And let me make sure I help you guys understand it. That's the possibility amongst all possibilities. You feel what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about it, man. Um, to to put ourselves in the middle of a conflict, right? What's the first thing we look for? Who looks like us, right? Then now that's where everyone else stops. Every other community stops in the middle of a conflict. Ask me if y'all feel me on this. In the middle of a straight up conflict, everybody looks for who looks like them to make a determination whether or not who they're gonna side with, right? Black folks, black folks look for who looks like them. Then, because of our humanity, we look for other things, and also lack of confidence. We look for other things to convince ourselves to go with people that look like us.
That's
Now,
not.
this is something that I'm throwing out there.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? Because there's
that,
many things to it.
that's not
Go ahead,
necessarily.
Jaquar.
That's not necessarily conflict, man. Hell, that's the first day. That's your first day in first grade.
Everybody's tribal, right?
Yes, this is why I said it for both y'all. You say tribal, Damon. Jaquar, you say, look, that's the logical sense, right? But in my opinion, in my 59 years of living, We look for the extra shit before we commit to each other. Everybody else don't give a shit about the other stuff as long as I'm with this person that looks like me. Our tribalism has checks and balances that we, for some reason, we throw in, right? Everybody
You do
else
what?
got that one check. They got that one check. Like, yo,
That's because that's because they in power or they promising shit, man.
but no, my point is, you said tribalism. That's why I
Right,
said that looks like you.
right. I think, man, but if you get if you delve deep into Jaquar, I'm sorry, man, because I wanted to hear your response to what you had said,
Hey man,
but
hey,
I'm
he's gonna get the opportunity, man. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
I think, man, and this is something that my wife hit me too, man. A woman, black woman, right, raised 3 kids. She said, "I have compassion for other kids that look like mine. I have compassion for kids who don't look like mine. But when it comes down to it, my kids are gonna get the lion's share, and then we'll divvy out the rest. That's innate. That's just what it is. Are we above that? Are we above that?
I get it.
I'm talking about all colors, all creed, all everything. As human beings, are we above? I mean, can a mother
Okay, yeah,
say,
your question.
I'm gonna put my kids on hold and I'm gonna feed these people before my
No,
kids
no,
get it
baby.
because I want to make it fair?
You make sure your kids get fed right along with everybody else. When it comes to black community, that's how we do it. But hold on, you are absolutely right, Jaquari. I did cut you off. Did you have something to follow up with before we go into Damon? Because Damon, that's taking us to a direction that we need to cover. But I want to make sure that Jaquari cool with it.
Yeah, I'm cool. I can't even remember what my last statement was, brother.
God
You
damn
talked
it,
about
man.
liberalism.
You and Ganja, we gotta find
Hey man,
Ganja and slap him across the wrist. Damn it.
yeah, I mean, and it's been, and I have to, yeah, because I got to work, but it's been
It's
years,
been years.
and I try to tell my boys all the time, man. You
Been
know,
years. I'm talking
I
about
forget shit to the
what, 16? You were 16? Yeah, I get it.
my young 20s or whatever. But I tell my boys all the time because that's all they talk about is popping pills and smoking reefer and shit. And I'm like, man, look, okay, the pills, the pills is bad. Oh well, weed is natural. Okay, well, weed is the reason why I can't remember that you asked me for a fucking tube of toothpaste this morning, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Ah,
Preach,
shit.
sir. Preach.
I smoke away.
And
I smoke.
Jaquari is joking, but go
Yeah.
ahead, Jaquari.
I mean, but there is some, and this is all self-diagnosed or whatever, but there is some memory loss from all the weed I used to smoke. Fuck it, I don't care.
You know what I mean?
You know?
But like I said, you was a youngin'. But go, hey, Damon, let's address what you said. Um, my response to it is real quick is our community is the only community that will give our children slightly more, but if we have a bunch of children, we will make sure that all the children were fed.
No, I've done that 1,000 times myself. I mean,
Me too.
you can't be at an event with my child, you
That's
know,
real.
and if she's eating or whatever, and all her friends are eating or whatever, and you off to the side. I'm not
No,
gonna let
I never allowed that. That's crazy. But
It's
but but Damon, go ahead.
and that's true because that's how we were raised, man. That's
Mhm.
how we were raised. You know what I'm saying? But me, you, and Jacory went to that pot 3 or 4 times. You feel what I'm saying?
hmm
And
No,
and and and,
but like I
and
said, I
that
get
was
that.
right,
Oh yeah, I'm not disputing anything you say.
No,
Yeah.
no.
right. So So when you look at it in this whole in its entirety, man, when you see somebody say, I'm gonna make sure mine get theirs first, man. I'm willing to share, but I'm willing to share. But I want to be control of the coffers. You know what I'm saying? No, 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 no. Now Jesus taught me to be compassionate, so I'm gonna feed your babies, but my babies is gonna be healthy and they're gonna be full.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
that makes perfect sense, though, man.
And I
Absolutely
think
reasonable. Absolutely
right,
reasonable, bro.
Yes, sir.
right. So when you look at it, when you look across the landscape economically, man, and all that stuff, housing and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's where you get politicians talking about, oh, they taking advantage of this, and they taking advantage of that, and they holding up funds and shit because they want to make sure. I mean, prime example: private schools and public schools. You feel what I'm saying? Private schools and public schools. So they got this whole campaign going out saying, hey man, send your kids to our private schools so they can go to college and they can do this and they can do that, right? When you look at it as a whole, how many public school kids apply for colleges as opposed to private?
I'm sure the numbers are so, private school numbers are crazy. It got to be.
I mean, I think I think just by the sheer number, public school there's more,
It's more.
but private schools their kids apply because uh, the let's throw the food reference in it because of the nourishment that they get because private, the fact that you're paying to go to private school so you can get the best teachers, you can get the best books.
Private
You know what I'm
schools,
saying?
yeah, private schools have deeper connections to universities and
Exactly.
higher places of learning.
And my thing is, there would be no need for private school if you threw the money and the subsidies into public schools like you do private school.
But here's
Not
the
making
rub.
private schools a bad thing. I'm just saying it's really if we really and truly paid our teachers where it's a wage where now you're not gonna get smarter if a motherfucker paying you $100,000 a year and you're a teacher. You're not gonna get smarter because you'll be a dumb teacher with $100,000 a year salary, right? And this is
Mm,
exaggerated for everybody. But if you have a consistent salary where people can live over decades, you're going to get more and more of the people who can teach into those professions because they know they can make a living.
Here is my point. Here's why I brought up the point, man. Those kids that's going to the private schools, it's not about the grades. It's never been about that, man. It's about who the fuck you know. Excuse my language. It's about who you know, man, or who you connected with.
I mean, it's true.
That's what it is. And then when you get off into the weeds, man, of those private school kids, and they're trying to apply for Harvard and Yale and Princeton and all these schools, and they can't get in, they're like they're looking at what I'm saying that Hanover Fence shit. When I pay, hey man, hey dude, I paid you, gave you extra to make sure my kid got there.
I gave you $150,000.
You feel what I'm saying? But this is what they don't understand. It doesn't matter what institution that you go to. What matters is that kid, man. No matter what that kid come out of a broken home or whatever, they have the understanding that whatever the hell that's going to mean something to their life in terms of education and all that stuff is what they put into it. I'm saying all three of my kids graduated from college, man. Man, do you know how hard they worked to do that shit? And
I
how
get it.
early they started?
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? And dealing with people, man. Imagine going to people, man, that who are in place to help you out or move you, help you move forward, and you got to present yourself to them.
But hey,
Whether
brother,
or not, whether or not you wanted the pretty kids, whether or not you wanted the cute kids. You know what I'm saying? Because you got
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
You
whoa,
know,
whoa, 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 whoa,
hold on.
whoa.
The strongest institution in the world in the United States, man, is the fraternity and sorority of Divine Nine. They
I
are
mean,
in place, bro.
they in place. But yeah, ho. Just to go back with you, Dan. You said pretty and cute. What that had to do with this conversation we having? Because
No,
I
no, no, no,
know it's
no, no.
something. I know
That's how they
I know it
describe.
has something to do with your point. I just want you to elaborate on it a little bit.
What I mean by pretty and cute is that who gonna make you look good, man? You know what I'm saying? Who attracts you to make you look good when you help them out?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? It's all visual.
That's true.
It's all visual. But what I was talking about with the Divine Nine, they got people in place everywhere.
Yeah, but it's not easy to get in there because you have to have the QPA, you have to have the money, the whole nine. And I get that. And if you're able to do it, and they have been in place to help our community for decades. So I'm saying I agree with you. So let me
Okay.
ask you this.
But see, at that point, for that point, Key, then it's still selective. I mean, I think personally, man, for some time, I've thought, man, that there would be a benefit if all schools, kindergarten through 12th grade, which was freaking privatized.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
because it
yeah.
had okay.
But
I get that, and I want you.
why you
This
say that, bro?
my counterpoint to you. You need public schools because you need to wrestle the controls out of control freaks because they will discriminate. They will try to weed people out for the dumbest shit, and
Right.
for whatever reason they want to weed them out. I can't. I don't agree with you with that, man.
They'll do that if they're not policed. Yeah,
But how?
but if
But if they're
but
private, how are they police though?
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but I mean, I don't.
No. Tell me because see, that's an interesting point you just made. I don't
Because I mean,
understand.
if you privatize the schools or whatever, man, and the resources for the school came from directly from the community, and the community could control the curriculum.
Okay,
You
see,
know,
that's why I wanted you to explain because you talking about community based to
yeah, I'm not saying
bring in
I'm not.
those children
Yeah, I'm
from
not
the
saying.
community.
But
Yeah, I'm not.
you speaking
I'm not.
percentages though.
No. I'm not saying that. I say they need to be privatized. For the sake of exclusivity.
Exclusivity, yes.
Exclusivity. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if we want our children to be tomorrow's leaders, then will we teach them coming up, and will we reinforce coming up? It would be easier to do that in a privatized setting.
Yeah, I get it.
A lot of
I get the theology to it though. I do,
a lot
but
of things
I just don't agree.
a lot of things they're learning, man, a lot of things they're learning in school nowadays, man, has no practical use in the world, man.
But did it ever?
No.
Okay.
Wait, what do you mean by that, man? You said no use. What do you mean by that?
How far did you get in math?
In math,
Hmm.
not very far. I'm not even gonna hold you up on that. Not
College,
very far.
I don't know.
where
Yeah,
yeah.
College, yeah, absolutely. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
But outside of college, I'll say college algebra, for instance. There's never been an instance in my life that ever fucking used college algebra, and I'm not saying that there's no use for it. What I'm saying is, had I've been in a setting where, you know, my skills were sharpened and guided to something that I was a little more comfortable with, then I would probably be a little more successful. I mean,
I
since when did having a well-rounded education, air quotes, well-rounded education, contribute to anybody's success? Everything has always been I'll say it again. Everything has always been specialized. Always.
That's the truth. But a lot of times, I mean, education is to put a delay. This is what old man told me. It put a delay on the workforce, first of all. But in the meantime, it works in the sense that education reinforces the character that you are. It
So you mean
reinforces
to tell
who you
me?
are as a person.
So you mean to tell? And that's a very true statement, bro. You're right. So when I'm asking both of you brothers, man, you mean to tell me what you majored in college? You know what I'm saying? You actually, there's very few people who actually work in the field that they majored in, man.
Mhm. Why is that?
Uh,
That's because that's because first of all, the people, man, that's you look at Wall Street and all that stuff. These people, they're all about finances, business, all that stuff. It's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very skilled in that and have a great understanding of it. But when it comes to humanity, man, life that people live and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? When you look across the spectrum, man, if you have a liberal arts understanding of the world and humanities, you can get any job you want to. But specifically, can you be an engineer? No. Can you be,
no,
a financier or whatever? You can't be those. But
And
in terms of
people in those fields, not to cut you off, but people in those fields start early, man.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that uh, in college you have an idea of where you're going to, but your training is on the job. The real training, the real education is on the job education. But when it comes to, say, you brought up engineering, engineering gives you proficient in math or expert status in math. Engineering puts you in the position for business. It gives you an idea about everything.
okay.
But really, it's on the job training
But how early does
that
that
makes you into that actual engineer.
but how early does that desire begin? How
It
soon?
does college.
You don't no
That's
no no
when
no
it
no no.
that's
You
when it
don't
starts, bro. That's
how
when it
many how
starts.
in your personal life, how many doctors do you know in your personal life? Okay, I
I know,
know a few.
I know
I
that's
I
quite a
know
few. Yeah,
I know a few,
yeah.
and guess what? They always wanted to be doctors, and when they were children, is when they started to make that dream come true.
I mean, I have nothing.
I've
I
never
don't oppose that, but go ahead.
I've never known a doctor, man, who went into college as a freshman and didn't know that didn't want to be, didn't know that they wanted to
Because
be a doctor.
because they wanted to help people. They wanted to do
But,
certain
but
things.
can I ask both of y'all a question, man? Why do we uphold a position like a doctor who's always at the end of what a human being or a person is going through? Why is that valued more than anything, man? So when
No,
you go to the doctor,
what-
when you go to the doctor, you going to the doctor to overcome something, to deal with a
yeah,
certain situation.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying, but there are
And
occupations, man, that help you, that can
But but
help
but,
you.
but that, you know what that is though. To answer your question,
What's my question, bro?
your first of all, your question is why do we hold them on a pedestal
yeah,
when it's obvious why we hold them on a pedestal because they well people might feel and this is just I'm speaking in general. People might feel this man saved my life. This woman saved my life because it helped me through this ailment. So this is why doctors are held on a pedestal in a roundabout way. This is my opinion.
well, in my opinion, doctors, lawyers, law enforcement are held to a higher standard and higher regard because they take oaths. That's why.
No, they held in accountability when they take oaths.
So
But
that doesn't speak to a higher.
no, let me put it like this: that is a check to hold them, so they won't say, "Hey, I tried."
Well, everybody
You
ain't
know what I'm
gonna
saying?
go. Ain't gonna be. They ain't gonna hold up to that standard, bro. They
Of
not.
course. I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
I understand, but yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You know, when you speak in terms of statistics and stuff like that, man. You know, you got black women, man. And I'm speaking in terms of the medical field. You got black women up to this very day, man, who are not being uh, treated like everybody else. They're not. You can look at the statistics and see that shit because they are looked at as different. You know what I'm saying? So my point is this: I do not hold them in esteem or high regard because they are biased and they don't know how the hell to look at a motherfucking human being. They just don't.
But
And
Damon,
hold on, Keith. The statistics say that shit.
but Damon, I don't know.
As
Did
far
we
as a
say
doctor, I'm not going to be like enamored by them motherfuckers because they're too biased.
are we? I mean, were we speaking on holding them into some kind of self esteem or anything like that? Because I agree with what you're saying, but we were just talking about just the educational part of it. That's all.
I'm talking
You know what I mean?
about. I think I said in the beginning. I think I said who people hold these people in high regard when they what I'm saying, don't actually put in the work to be in that position, man. They don't. You know what I'm saying? Man, my daughter, man. I mean, I'm not even gonna put her business out there. I'm saying in my own personal experience, I know black women do not get the same shit that everybody else do. They just don't. And I've seen that for myself. So when I think about a doctor or whatever, I can't give them love like that. I
So
can't because
let me
because 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 their mentality is not conducive to our my wife, daughter, auntie, whoever's situation. It's not conducive, man. They think different when it comes to us.
so so that being said, I understand your point and everything, and I respect it. Don't get me wrong, but when I mentioned privatizing schools or whatever, you seem to give a little pushback. If schools are
No, Keith
private,
gave pushback. I never said anything
I
about
gave
private
you
side.
pushback.
oh
I
okay,
didn't say
He
anything.
my bad.
yeah.
I apologize.
Um, but let me just say this. Really and truly, and let's tie this in the bow. This is why I'm even bringing it up. When it comes to education, when I said that on the job training is a little more important than the actual education, it doesn't override the fact that these children and us went to school to do these things, to learn this craft, to get an idea. Because what college does for us, unless you become a scientist, but what college does for us is to give us an idea into the field that we go into. You see what I'm saying? So let me ask you guys this. Why are the Ivy League schools such as Princeton, Harvard, Yale held in high regard?
Tradition, age, longevity.
Tradition, age, longevity, right? Okay.
10,
Now,
$10 billion stipend.
so to
My,
your point, Jaquari, and then I'm gonna your point, Damon, the fact that they've been there and people have always spoke about them, right?
Mhm.
And then to your point, Damon, money, power, respect, right? So let me ask you this, and this is my question just to allude to it. is the education is the education different from, say, a Big Ten school, Pac-10, ACC school, in which they have great medical institutions in the ACC, different things like that. Is it different from the Harvard education, or is it because the Harvard and the Ivy League names carry the most weight?
I think the difference lies in the fact that old traditional Ivy League schools, man, they're more into research and technology, and the schools in the ACC and those schools, they're about teaching.
But the majority of the medical schools can be in it. No, kinda. It's in the ACC.
Well, yeah, I
But
understand.
and don't quote me on that. But my point is this is my point more than anything. How much are we giving them credit for word of mouth?
I don't understand the question.
Word of mouth meaning the name Harvard. If you had remember the thing they used to go around saying, if you had a damn fucking you had a degree in gym fucking physical ed in Harvard, you can get a job on Wall Street
Mm.
because of the Harvard name.
I think.
But see,
Can I answer the question?
You can.
Go ahead, Jerome.
and I just, all right. Let me answer your question with a question. If Pop was still alive, what do you think he would rather drive, a Cadillac or a Lexus? I'm gonna give you my answer. I think he would rather drive a Cadillac because Cadillac is established.
I
Cadillac
think
is
he would
tradition.
rather drive a
But but
Ford,
but
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 Cadillac,
but
I
but
can
but,
like. That's a
but the
good
thing
substitute.
about it is he knew Cadillac, even though it had the bells and whistles, just the three of us know, even though it has the bells and whistles, it's always a reputation of doing what? You see what I'm saying? It's not, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying to you is, if you think in a practical manner,
You're
what
not
you're trying,
disagreeing with me, but you're not answering my question.
Right. I
no,
mean,
hold on,
listen.
hold on. He would, no,
No,
hell
the,
no.
the right answer. The right
This, this,
answer is, I
this,
think.
no, it ain't no right answer, is what I'm trying to say, Damon. Because our dad was practical.
Hmm.
If he know,
Our
now
dad was a
hold on.
Ford man.
Hmm.
That's
Okay,
the right answer.
It was a simple a simple and and that
I know, and I was answering it.
I don't know, it was a
But
simple question.
no, you guys can disagree. That's what I'm saying to you.
Mm.
But the simple fact that if he know, because he talked about Japanese foreign joints, right? Because Lexus is under Toyota, and he always said, now I correct me if I'm wrong. He always said that you can depend on a Toyota if you take care of it.
I remember Mama saying that, but not Dad, man.
No, he said it.
But that's my
Uh,
experience, though. I don't know.
my point being, man, and this is any person, man. People are generally fixed towards the more traditional, is what I'll say.
Okay,
These schools,
I can agree with that.
Harvard, Yale, Brown, Princeton, have been established in this country basically since the country's onset.
That was my point. Yeah.
I mean, the quality of education. Who knows? We don't know. We're laymen. You know, I don't
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what the quality of education is at Harvard. It might be the same as it was at North Carolina Central, which
Man,
is
Exactly.
which is why I don't put a lot of stock in it. I mean, you couldn't sit me in a room with that. Well, you could, but if I sat in a room with a Harvard educated motherfucker, I'd more than hold my own. I don't give a fuck who a person is. And education or background doesn't have anything to do with it.
But to me, my point even bringing it up because those grads always rely on the name. They
They
here's the
always
pay
thing,
rely on
man.
the name.
they
Can
pay
I
for
say
it.
this? Can I say this, man? and I'm gonna make it as simple as possible, man. When it comes to Harvard, man, you got motherfuckers who did some shit in the world, man, and that deserve to be recognized. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about your preference, man. It's all about what you covet, right? It's just like Michael Jordan is Harvard and Princeton, and Steph Curry is fucking Michigan. You feel me? It is what it is. It's what you covet. It's what you love. It's what you enjoy, man. I like Michigan because of the football team, bro. You think I'm gonna fuck with Harvard because of the football team? No. But I recognize those cats who became presidents, who became this, and who became that. I recognize it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what matters most, man, whatever you as an individual decides how you want to move forward in your life and make your mark in the world, it's all predicated on you, not the name of some goddamn institution, man. At all. You know what I'm saying? And when you get caught up in that shit, then you lost. You a sheep. Like
We
I
got a
said
lot.
before.
We got a lot of
Like
sheep.
I
We got
said
a lot of
before.
sheep bleating all over the place.
Right. Like I said before, Howard, Princeton, Yale, that's Michael Jordan. But Steph Curry is Michigan. Is Steph Curry a beast motherfucker? Is he one of the best motherfuckers that ever came through the NBA? It's all about preference, man. Do I think Jordan is the best motherfucker that ever came through the NBA? I do not. I don't. But do I respect his fucking excuse my language? Do I respect his cachet? Absolutely. But I'm not gonna sit up here and be like Stephen A. and oh hell no, he did this and he did that. No, he ain't have to deal with social media and all that bullshit. Fuck
All
out
right,
of here,
all right,
man.
all right, all right.
Hold
Look,
on,
you
Keith, don't
get
cut me off, bro.
no. You get ready to do the same thing. You get ready to branch off to the other direction, man. We gonna tie this in the bow. Go ahead and tie it in the bow, then we can move on to something else.
No, go ahead, bro. You got it.
Cause you like,
What I'm saying, no, what I was going to say to finish my point, bro. I don't give a damn if you a man with conviction, man. You do not follow a motherfucker, man. You follow your own conviction. You know what I'm saying, you know, I look at Michael Jordan as a basketball hero, whatever. I didn't give a shit about basketball that much, man. I would never have been committed to that on that level. So why am I putting him on that pedestal? Why? I put my dad on that pedestal. I put my grandfather on that pedestal. Pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Basketball? Are you serious? When it come to man shit, dude, you are not knocking on my door when it comes to a fucking sport, bro. You're just not. That's just me. And everybody, and this is my last point. Everybody can to agree to disagree with me. But guess what? I played at a high level. Did I play in NBA, whatever? No, but I played against NBA motherfuckers. And I did my thing. I just wasn't committed as they were.
all right, but look,
So
well, hold on.
it's levels and it's degrees, bro. What makes a difference to me, man, that means shit that you know what I'm saying? You might think a game matters to life. Whereas to me, it don't.
I
Because I was
got you.
never committed to it on that level, bro. Ever.
All right. So
Hey Keith, don't you ever rush me again.
no. Hey, look. First
Hey,
of all,
my
we
mic.
talking about Harvard. Then you
Our
gonna bring
whole
in
life, man. He always talking about, all right, motherfucker, hurry up, make your point, man.
no. First of all, I explained to you that you getting ready to go to the next conversation when it came to we're not talking about Jordan. We're not talking.
Oh, you talking
Your,
about the next question?
no. Your analogy was good until you forgot that we wasn't talking about sports. That's all I'm saying. That's
Keith,
all I'm saying.
I can interject what I want to interject. Shit.
No, and you can, but you ain't even hear what I just said to you. But it is what
I
it
did.
is.
Oh, niggas.
All right, well, look, let me ask you this, man. We talked about this last night, and I just want y'all had a night to really marinate on this, and I hopefully y'all looked it up, but I just want y'all opinion about the 81-year-old man, right? And not to make it into a white black thing, but he was a white man, and he ended up shooting the 61-year-old black female Uber driver, right? So to give everybody context in this, somebody was trying to scam this 81-year-old white man out of money. So they called and said one of his relatives was had gotten arrested. They pretended they was the police. He had gotten arrested and they needed a certain amount of money, him to send a certain amount of money, and they were going to send a driver to pick it up, right? So in the meantime, these folks who was trying to do the scam hopped on Uber and asked this woman to come and pick up a package from this man's uh, house. So when this black woman got there, she went and knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I'm here to pick up the package." So they went back and forth. Yeah, I know why you're here. They went back and forth and this, that, and the other. Then eventually the man pulled out a pistol on the woman. Now the woman, they're showing in her dash cam, she's backing away like, "Look, I'm just here to pick up the package." He said, "I know what you're here for," and this and another. And then the next thing you know, there was a scuffle, and he shoots and kills the woman. Right? My question in the whole totality, Damon Jaquari, what is your impression about that whole situation? And we'll start with you, Damon.
My impression was, man, that man was 81, 82 years old. He was feeble. He was being challenged. He was being pressed. He was, you know what I'm saying? His mindset, man, was, man, somebody in my family is being threatened and they trying to extort money and all that shit. And the only thing that he was thinking about was these people are coming to my house. And who showed up? A black person. You know what I'm saying? And that exacerbated it for him, and he responded in kind, man. That's what happened.
Okay.
And that speaks to which people have to recognize is that when you see a black person, you see a threat, whether they're a woman or a man, you see it. Which, in your mindset and your mentality, based on the bullshit, you pulled a damn gun. And he was willing to go the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going to happen in that situation, but as a man, don't matter the color, I'm not going to put no gun on no woman. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know I can control the situation. I can control the scenario. Now, if I'm old and feeble, I'm going to keep my distance or not answer the goddamn door. You know what I'm saying? It all comes down to the individual person and their mentality of what is going on, what is a real threat or what's not. And that's how it is for me. And that opens up a whole cachet of, you know what I'm saying? How do you see a person? You know what I'm saying? Are you thinking in rational terms? Are you really threatened or whatever? You don't shoot no 60-something-year-old woman, man, who just trying to pick up a goddamn package. You know what I'm saying? You have to think rational. You have to have some accountability, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you can get off into the nuances of Well, you know what? If it was a white woman who was 60 something years old showed up without have pulled a damn gun, you have to ask yourself that, man. People have to be responsible for their shit, their actions.
Okay. For me, man, it brings two things to mind. Number one, I did not know that Uber provided a freaking package pickup and delivery service. I didn't know that. And number two, this man was 81 years old, and they told him that a relative of his got arrested and he needed to bail him out. I mean, now when you think about it, and on a grander scale, hell, if he had kids, hell, his daughter would be 60 something years old. So who the hell is he bailing? Who the hell is he bailing out? So that
Gotcha.
makes me ask the question: why the fuck did he answer the door? Because he had to know it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the frame of mind, Damon, that you know he probably would have popped whoever came to the door.
Here's that. That's true.
I mean, he 81 years old, and that's an entirely different generation. I mean,
Yeah, but
that's the Jim Crow generation right there.
right.
That
Here's the
that's
caveat, bro.
that's wait. That's the mob mentality, vigilante justice generation right there.
Right. And you know what? Some people might feel like they can justify those actions, but the woman was leaving, bro.
I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just
No, no, I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying he, in his mind, because of his, what he was dealing with in the situation. You know what I'm saying? If you feeling threatened, if you look at anybody in the real sense of time, brother, you go through that experience and that person is leaving and you still shoot them. Come on, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's bigotry, man. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? He saw that woman because because he was put in that position where he had to defend himself or whatever. He saw a black person and he responded in kind, bro. Whereas if it was me and and a woman showed up, I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. I'm not giving you shit. That's my response. Whereas he saw the black woman, he say, "Oh, okay, it's a real threat here. It's a real threat here." You know what I'm saying? Why is that? Coupled with the understanding that the woman was trying to leave and he shot her. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? That's here. That's here. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's trying to leave, if somebody coming to threaten me and they leave, then my next choice is to call the police and hold on the fort. His shit was, I'm finna shoot this woman because she's a threat. The hell is a black woman in their sixties a goddamn threat to anybody, bro? So at the end of the day, you have to think about what your mentality is and how you think of what a real threat is and what lengths you willing to go. That's personal. You know what I'm saying? That's personal, and you have to understand that, dude, you killed somebody because you was afraid, maybe, possibly because of the color of their damn skin.
I think, and I'm speaking from a law enforcement point of view of this thing. First and foremost, and I told you guys last night, why in the world would he pull a gun on this woman when she has no money? She has taken nothing from him, right? And everybody always taking and rightfully so, taking in account that he's 81 years old. I can't just being in retired from law enforcement. I can't take that in account. because unless you're suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, or some kind of senility, you know that a gun shoots.
Right.
You know that your finger on the trigger will throw that, hot bullets burn, man. You know what I'm saying? So I told y'all last night, I would have gotten the driver's license. I would have called the police right away. They would have met her there. You know what I'm saying? Different things that I would have did just being 59 years old. The one thing about it is I can't help but be angered by this 61-year-old woman being killed by this man because somebody asked him or demanded to give up money in which he could have just said no. It bothers me, man. And I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm not trying to indict it. No, that bothers the hell out of me because a lot of that involves what? Common sense. Like my guy, they not in your bank account.
What's common sense for him though at 81 years old, bro?
The
What's common sense to
same
him?
thing. I'm holding, bro, Damon. I'm holding him to the same standard that I'm held to. You see what I'm saying? Now, if they said, and it may come out when in his defense, oh, he was suffering from senility, the least amount, or dementia, right? But if he was suffering from dementia, and I'm being funny when I say this shit. So you was a pistol pulling motherfucker in your in your youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man, that is the extreme for a crime that has not happened.
The
Somebody's grandmother was killed because she was trying to make ends meet. She's an Uber driver. So you know she's trying, I'm assuming she's trying to what? Eat. I'm going to tell you what it is on all sides, but mostly on the auntie side. And she's an auntie, but I'm 59, she's 61. So she's not far from me, right? So I feel that. That is horrible because of this guy's negligence. I don't know him to call him racist, but I know him enough. I know this enough to call him stupid as fuck. That's my point about it. You know what I mean? That's all.
well, here's the thing, man. Do I come to a can I come to a conclusion, man, that this man who went through the whole processes that he went through, and this person showed up, and he will have that fucking bigoted understanding that these people trying to extort me because of the color of the woman's skin. I can see him coming to that conclusion based on his age, 81 years old. And that's a problem, man. That's a problem. We can't justify his actions. We can't justify any of that shit. But most people would try. Most people would try. Wait. She showed up and she said, "I came to pick up a package," and you know, because of the color of her skin, he basically said she a part of the goddamn situation, and the onus falls on him. Whether he get indicted and convicted of it, who's to say? Most likely he won't. Most likely he won't. But what needs to be understood, which has nothing to do with the opposite side, the black side, it has nothing to do with, is that he saw color before he saw that she was a woman, and he didn't care. He just felt the threat
You
because he
know,
saw what he saw. And I'm just speculating. I don't know the
yeah,
facts of it.
and the man and the way it's read is she was trying to get away, and he shot her in the leg first.
Right. And that's where you could make an argument
You
because she was
lost me,
trying to
motherfucker. After that
leave the
bullshit.
situation and he felt compelled. How the hell if you in a threatening situation, just on GP, you in a threatening situation, man, and somebody put a gun on you and you walk away and they still shoot your goddamn ass, you know what I'm saying? That that runs deeper. It runs deeper. I'm not gonna let you go, man, because you a threat to me, even though you know what I'm saying, trying to leave a situation. You a threat. Now you ask yourself this, man. If she had been white, would he do the same thing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know either. But can you assume that she would have never
He,
lost her life?
he get
I believe so.
and you're absolutely right that we can assume that and jump to that conclusion because just the way this world is, you know.
People have to deal with that shit. We have to deal with the fact that this man put a gun on a fucking woman who was walking just as gingerly as he was.
And that was the craziest part, man.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ask yourself in terms of threat, right? Was it because of the color of her skin, or because of she was being demonstrative in her speech, and she was being aggressive in her actions? Was she either one of those, being demonstrative in her speech or aggressive in her action? No, the fuck she wasn't. She was trying to go.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? If you all about truth and honesty and justice, you see the shit for what it is. And his old ass need to go to fucking jail. Period.
All right.
Is that gonna be the case? I seriously doubt it.
Well, I'm optimistic, man. Fuck it.
He
You know.
shot her when she was leaving. She got out she you know what I'm saying, she got with him and boxed this motherfucker. And he shot her two more times. That's what's my man name who shot Trayvon? Same situation, same scenario.
All right. We go this last question of the day, just for just I wanted I think either Jaquari or Damon, you brought it up yesterday, this question, which is a good question. It says, are we as older people disillusioned on the personal stance and on a universal stance? Are we disillusioned when it comes to everyday living? Whoever wants to go first can go first.
Disillusioned in what sense? I mean,
I think you were the one who brought it up.
You know, I brought it up.
You brought it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you how I think, Damon, but you're the one who brought the question up. What
Okay,
do you mean by
this is how
disillusion?
I feel, man. Um, people express themselves out of desperation, man, and disillusion shit, and not knowing how to progress and move forward. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I brought up that question because I can say that when you dealing with motherfuckers, man, that's like 25 and under, 28 and under. You don't understand where they're coming from because they're all about trying to find and discover themselves, man. But when you move up the spectrum and you move up the ladder, man, you understand that people that's 35 plus and over, they understand that you have to figure out how to survive, man. It's not about it's not about who survives and who's left. It's about living life and understanding your mistakes, man. We don't give ourselves a chance, man, to understand how to be people vesting or fucking uh ignorant, man. We just angry. When do you think about your in terms of yourself, man? Think about, man, when you stopped dealing with situations in terms of anger and understand that you need to figure out how to be your best self and survive and be an example. All three of us know and understand because of our own personal experiences that we did not know shit until we got into our mid 30s, man. And then we buckled down and tried to make the shit happen. And then you got people out there who did foul shit, who going through shit or whatever. They're trying to figure out how to be that person, man, who matters, man, who made a difference. Because when you look at the world, bro, man, everybody that we admire, that we think are heroes, man, wanted the fucking legacy, bro. They wanted a
Hold on,
legacy.
hold on, not to cut you off, man, but I'm still kind of cloudy on on the specific question. What disillusioned with what?
Older people like us, man, it's like looking at young people and be like, man, what the fuck is they doing, bro? This shit don't even make any sense. Candace Owens. I hate to, dump on her. I hope that sister, man, finds a pathway in life, man, to be okay and relevant. You know what I'm saying? But you look at how she lived her life and what she did, and she did that was it for the bag or she just on some mental shit? I don't know. But we can point to her and say, that's how not to be.
Got
You feel what I'm saying? Can you imagine being that person, bro? And that's coupled with our own personal mistakes, man, and the people that we hurt and disappointed. That actually happens in everybody's life, bro. We are not angels. We make our mistakes. We are not Jesus. You know what I'm saying? We make our mistakes and we want to be forgiven at some point in our lives. We just do. And we want people to recognize the fact that we are a better human being. And that comes with our trials, tribulations, and maturation processes, bro. And everybody have to go through that experience. And the ones who ignore, then that's they shit. And they are unreachable. And let's not get it fucking confused, brother. There are some cats that's unreachable, bro. But the majority of us wants people to understand the standard that the standard of understanding that we can be better. Because being better is not trying to confuse a motherfucker. Being better is understanding that you was a fuck up at some time and somebody forgave your ass. That's being better.
So I'm gonna say, man, I don't think we as older people are disillusioned, man. I think between the ages of 18 and 28, there's disillusion there because they're trying to figure out how we got to the point that we are.
Right.
That education comes, you know, usually after from 29 to 50. You
Gotcha.
know, the the disillusion on our part comes, man, when we try to verbalize the steps it takes to get to this point. I don't think it's possible to do that. I mean, you can, but holding somebody's attention long enough, to get them to listen with understanding, man, is not easy. It's a difficult. It's a difficult process, man.
You speaking personally from your job experience and stuff?
Job experience, life experience, period. I mean, I've seen young folks, men, young women, man, who, you know, I'm quite sure, with hell 40 a 45 minute conversation, if I couldn't solve the issue, man, I could put them on the right road. But getting those 45 minutes, man, it's like pulling teeth.
You know,
Yeah, but are you trying to are you yeah, but are you trying to be a savior, or are you trying to get a person to understand that we have our peaks and valleys, man, and we fall sometimes.
Yeah. If it's one thing I learned when I was 18 to 28, man, is the fact that I can't save nobody. I can't save nobody, man. But if I have useful information to impart, then I would be a piece of shit if I didn't impart that information.
you know,
That speaks to your character, though, right? If you
but
felt
it's always
compelled to be
it's
It's on,
always somebody's character, bro. Of
yeah, it's on,
right,
on.
if you feel compelled to speak to that, man, that means that you are not judging the people that's not listening.
course.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you
I
just
mean, but
want to be
even that,
heard, right?
no, no, no,
I,
not even that,
I, I I
not
mean,
not
in
not, e-
terms of
not even that, man. My character development has come from people either listening or ignoring. My character was developed in the middle of that.
Though those are older peoples and peers, right?
Yeah,
But with the younger folks, I think it's more of a different approach in the sense that you have to have patience, but also you got to speak it because in my opinion, our responsibility is to plant the seeds if it's not our children. Because with us and our children, we plant the seeds and we sow the seeds the majority of the time. But when it's people outside of us, we the best we can do is plant the seeds. That's just my. I'm just throwing it out there. This is not a counterpoint. Just throwing
that's
it out there, like just throwing it out there to see.
that's a true statement, bro. That's a true statement. You plant the seeds, man, in terms of being honest with your misgivings and your understanding of how to move forward, predicated on what type of man you want to be in life, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, the one thing that a man can't do is be like another man. You have to understand who you are, and in understanding who you are, you have to trust that that's your mission in life, and that somebody's going to recognize that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a critic, man. They can say whatever the hell they want to say about you. But the only way, man, you're gonna be okay, man, is because you say to yourself, man, I was fucked up back then, but I'm all right now. And I'm speaking in these terms. Everybody ain't gonna get it, bro.
That's real.
But what everybody can't do is speak to your experience, bro. That's flat out what the deal is. Money ain't everybody's God. Pimping ain't everybody's God. None of that shit. What's everybody's God is being. I can't say that because that's personal. But what I can say is, if I take a stance on something, I'm guided. You know what I'm saying? And I'm giving up myself in doing that. And I have the understanding that everybody's not going to agree with it. And it's not my fight to fight the people that don't agree with it. It's me putting that out there and saying this is my truth.
That makes
You know what
sense.
I'm saying? This is my truth. And if it don't work for you, your ass, because you ain't making the effort, your ass is not gonna make me feel bad because I speak my truth. That's what it is. Either that's your flavor of the month or it ain't.
No doubt.
But I'm not gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna stop my pathway through my experience because your ass decide that you want to be clever in your bullshit. I love dealing with a clever motherfucker who think they know what they know. And crazy about it. The crazy part about it, brother, a motherfucker that do know is not finna argue with they point. They gonna argue what the hell come out your fucking mouth.
I got you. I got
You feel what I'm saying?
you. Yeah,
Because I don't have to prove shit to you, but I'm gonna question the shit that come out your mouth.
no doubt.
And I'm
All
gonna
right.
let you decide how to move forward with your shit because you don't affect mine at all.
All
And
right.
that's all I
Look,
gotta say.
um, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. I don't think I said this. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Share us with the world. Share us with the world. And the only way you can do that with us is either you take this episode and send it to somebody that you're close to that you know is going to affect, or like and share our episode and our YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Hop on it. All right.
True that.
And when it comes to closing, hey, I'm gonna repeat this all the time. Our shit is the shit. So the bottom line is this. Any last words, Damon Jaquari, as we get off of here? Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe to Strong Perspective Podcast because there's some heat in every episode. If you do, go do this. Share with us because this thing is gaining a lot of momentum. A lot. Any last words, Jaquari and Damon?
Hey man, thank you for your time, man. It's been a good show. As always, good job, Keith. Good job, Damon. I look forward to the next time.
My last word is anybody that want to commit to us and all that shit, y'all need to understand something. These are the conversations that we have with each other all the time, our whole damn life. This is what we always done. We are. Um, we do pay attention. We do have an opinion about shit. And if you want to challenge it on that shit, then do it. Ain't nobody afraid of that.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Bring it.
All right. My last words is Babaluchi Mangani. Hey, I'm gonna tell you the crazy thing is Pop told us what that meant, but I'm not sure. But he always told us that, hey, look, fuck it. That's what it is.
Did he used to drop jewels, man?
Oh yeah,
That
no doubt.
man.
No
Can
doubt.
I say something about our dad, man? Our dad was that person, man, who experienced life and it was dropped, like he said, dropped jewels, man, to give a person, like he told me, he said, man, son, you got a mind, think, man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell you how to.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you how to think. He
Would you
said,
say
hey, motherfucker, think.
use that motherfucker? All right, well, look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. We 2 years strong, and we doing our thing. You understand? We are doing our thing. And what you guys do, go like, share, and subscribe. and make
Wow.
sure
Hey
you
man.
Ah.
KB man.
Now look, what's on the screen is inside, but it's funny as hell
Oh
once
my
we reveal
God,
it to you.
man.
But look, this Strong Perspective podcast, we out of here. Y'all have a good weekend. Peace.
Peace. KB man is silly as hell, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you put out too? Oh shit.
Damn.
Hey
He
man,
is,
just
hey, Jacoy. He gonna let this motherfucker know that, hey nigga, don't speak on me.
yeah.
Don't speak on me, cause I'm gonna bust your head every chance I get.